I've been talking about this and sharing about this a lot, but it's actually really important. This comparison with Santa Claus and the coronavirus, and this idea of how can kids believe in Santa? Like when you're an adult and you know the truth, it seems silly that so many people believe in Santa. But if we back it up and go back to our own childhoods and remember that we were programmed to believe in Santa Claus. Ever since we came out of the womb, there was, you can call it mind control, because again, at the end of the day, the truth is there is no Santa Claus, but we were programmed and everyone made it seem like he actually was real. Every year, waking up and seeing presents under your tree, literally physical evidence of him being there, being here. TV shows and specials of Santa Claus being on TV for you to see, going out into different malls and seeing him physically at malls, talking to him. So there's all this external stimuli making it seem like he's real when he's not real. And again, I know this is a hard pill for some of you to swallow, but what's going on with COVID-19 is exactly the same thing. There's tests going on, right? Showing all these positive cases of COVID tests. People are getting sick. People are dying. So it seems like there's physical evidence of this disease, of this pandemic being real. You go on to any channel on TV now and there's subconscious hints or conscious hints, if you watch the news, of it being very real, of it being deadly, of it, of a new strain coming out. And that reality of it being real is what most people have been tapping into the past year. Now, the thing about Santa Claus is it's really like benevolent mind control. So there's more or less, there's no harm in having people believe there's a Santa Claus when there's no Santa Claus, because at the end of the day, it fosters a feeling of love and joy and giving. And, there's a lot of positive effects from that mind control. But when it comes to COVID-19, it's the exact opposite. There's a lot of not so good effects as far as greed and control and manipulation. And these lockdowns and all the things that have been rolled out to quote unquote help people from getting this disease have actually killed a lot of people. And that's another universal truth. But the thing is, going into 2021, it's so helpful to people to be aware of this illusion and to see, just because your reality is constantly mirroring to you that COVID-19 is real or that Santa Claus is real, doesn't mean it's real. And it also doesn't mean, again, people are dying. That's a fact. People are getting sick. That's a fact. But guys, we got to take deep breaths and realize, and again, let me finish this thought and then I'll go to my other thought that came into my head. Number one, we have to realize that the flu disappeared. Other people, no matter people are getting sick, but we have to remember people were getting sick last year. People were getting sick all the time in previous years. Now all of a sudden, when anyone gets sick nowadays, they're blaming it on COVID-19, and that's exactly what they want you to do. And then number two, I've stopped trying to convince a lot of people of what's going on, because at the end of the day, even if I give you super compelling evidence of, look at the flu literally disappeared, or look at the death rate from this year is actually lower than last year. Even if I give some people that evidence, if they're locked into the mind control and their ego state of how the world actually is, no matter how much compelling evidence you give someone, they're not going to change their mind. So even though I'm telling you all this, like, if you're gung ho on believing COVID-19 is real and that you're a victim and that, you have to stay inside and that, if you don't wear a mask, you're a bad person. Like, if you're wrapped up in that frequency of thought, like, there's no, nothing I can say or nothing anyone else can say is going to convince you otherwise. But the important thing is, again, to see what's going on with this year through a different lens. Because again, once you start seeing through a different lens, and connecting with how you really feel about what's going on, you're going to start making different choices in your life. Because at the end of the day, when you realize that this is a very cleverly orchestrated rollout that's benefiting very few and a detriment to many, then you can start making different actions in your life. And, perhaps you won't get the COVID vaccine. Perhaps you won't wear a mask in nature, God help us. Perhaps you won't, distance yourself from grandparents or older people that are going to die in a year or two anyways, and enjoy that time. Perhaps you'll keep your business open and you won't let fear dictate your life. Perhaps you'll have faith that when you keep your business open, when you keep doing what you know to be right in your heart versus what governors or, the government is telling you to do, that aid will come to you, whether it's financial aid, whether it's, lawyers and helping you keep your business open. Like, once you really admit to yourself that this whole year has not been about a virus and has been about power and money at best, then you can start living life more empoweredly and more consciously. Because what they want is for you to believe in Santa Claus. They want you to believe in COVID-19 so that you live your life unconsciously, so that you're constantly falling for the stress that they want you to be under. You're constantly worried about, okay, like, I just got to get the vaccine, I got to wear the mask, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And then, like, all this will go away and I'll go back to normal. And it's most people are living in this very unconscious way. And the good thing about this year is that everything, the illusion of Santa Claus, or the illusion of COVID-19, the illusion of this disease got pushed so far to absurdity that, again, if you're living somewhat consciously, you must be aware that it's not what they're telling you it is. News stations now on YouTube, like, constantly saying that numbers are going up, that hospitals are filling up. It's a joke. It's a joke now. You have, like, these outlets like ABC, NBC, CBS, like, and especially in 2021, we're going to see how even much more of a joke they all are. And again, it's not that everyone is in on it. That would be crazy. What happens is most people are under the mind control spell of COVID-19 is real, that the medical establishment and big pharma cares about you, that government cares about you, God help us. And because so many people are under the spell, they don't even know that they're serving these bigger malevolent entities like the news, like, the medical industry, etc. And we have to get rid of this idea that, the news always tells the truth. Like, again, it will become even more apparent in 2021 for those fast asleep, but they don't. They lie all the time. Human beings lie all the time. But again, we live in a fabricated world. So, people who are telling the truth now are the ones that sound crazy, or the ones that are kind of outnumbered. But again, as more people wake up and see what's going on and disattach from the mind control that we were under when we were little, believing in Santa Claus, and that most adults are under now, believing in COVID-19. Once we take a step back and see the illusions of, oh, there's physical evidence, but that doesn't mean that it's real. People can still be dying and getting sick. We can still have compassion for those people, but that doesn't mean that there's a virus going around that humans spread amongst each other. Carry this within you. Live it without you and the way you go about your days. And if I could just offer one thing, it's like next time you go to the grocery store, take this lens that I'm giving you and look around. And you can't really understand the madness of this world until you go into a grocery store now, realizing that there's actually no contagion virus going on in the air, and seeing people's madness, seeing people wear their face diapers, seeing people, afraid of each other, seeing people slosh toxic hand sanitizer on their hands, until you really take a breath and look around and see people in the madness that is the human ego that is coming up to be looked at and cleared. First you see it in yourself, then you can see it in other people. And again, this has been, I looked around grocery stores the last couple of days with the Christmas madness and the Christmas madness and needing to give presents and needing to do all this shit for Christmas. That's part of the madness. It's this rush frequency. It's this, and the masks and stuff just add to it. But anyways, next time you go to the grocery store, do that and tune in with yourself. And once you start being able to see the madness around you, again, you can make different, you can take different actions in your life, and you don't have to go down the path that it seems like a lot of people are going to go down until they wake up, and giving them patience. But at the same time, if you're ready to not go down that path any longer, it's about giving yourself the space and the freedom to stand up for the life that you want. And if you don't want to wear a face diaper when you get your groceries or when you go to get a coffee, then you shouldn't have to.